Hello, everyone, and welcome to another thought provoking episode of the Sports Truth Thinking Outside the Batter's Box. All right, guys. Good day, sports fans. I am the Cleat Geek Mike Valentine. I'm one half of the 643 and Out guys that present to you the Sports Truth Podcast every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Central and 9 o'clock on the East Coast. We have a YouTube, we have a Facebook, and of course we have an X account. And all you need to remember is 643 and spelled out A-N-D, 643 and Out Guys Pod, because all of our social medias have the exact same tag. So our X account is 643 and Out Guys Pod, our YouTube channel 643 and Out Guys Pod, and you guessed it, our Facebook is 643 and Out Guys Pod. So follow them, subscribe to them, hit the bell for notifications, and let's get started with today's episode. Today we're going to talk about Major League Rehab Assignments, and we're going to talk about the 25-man roster. Major League Rehab Assignments, to start everything off with. Any Major League player can be assigned to any Major League affiliate. If that player is a position player, they can have a 20-day maximum assignment, and if they're a pitcher, they can have a 30-day maximum assignment. But neither of them have minimum assignments. All MLB players on a team's 40-man roster will continue to receive their salary at the MLB level, the Major League level. According to the new CBA, the players must agree to the rehab assignment. The Major League assigned player does not count against that minor leagues team's numbers. So you can make people and you can have them go down for assignments. And if they have a 25-man roster, they don't have to send somebody down. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to DFA anybody, which we'll talk about later. They don't have to do any of those kinds of things. It does not affect their minor league numbers when the major league guy goes down to the minor league assignment. As far as position players and their minors options, it's a little different, right? So a position player, when they're optioned, must remain down in the minors for a minimum of 10 days. And when it's a pitcher, they must remain down on the minor league for a minimum of 15 days. Now, there are two types of Major League rosters. One is a 26-man roster, and the other one is a 40-man roster. We're going to talk about the 26-man here for just a moment. The 26th man is also referred to a lot of times as the MLB active roster. So if you hear that term, 26-man roster or MLB active roster, they're actually the same thing. They have the active, and they do get active Major League service time whenever they're on the 26-man roster. The 26-man roster must have 13 pitchers, and that is the maximum number of pitchers that's allowed on a 26-man roster until it gets to September 1st when you go to that playoff push, and then you get granted the 28-man roster, and instead of 13 pitchers, you can have 14 pitchers. All MLB teams must designate each player as either a pitcher or a position player. And position players are unable to pitch unless it's in extra innings or your team is trailing by 6 or more runs. Then you can put a position player on the mound and have them pitch. Two more things I want to talk about, and we'll be done with this particular episode. And I appreciate you guys hanging on right here on the Sports Truth, thinking outside the batter's box. The first thing I want to look at is double headers. So teams are actually granted the 27th man when they play in a doubleheader, and that 27th man accrues 1 day of MLB service time. And that guy who was brought up from the 40-man roster to the 27-man roster at that point must be on the 40-man roster. Again, we'll talk about the 40-man roster tomorrow. Stick with me. We'll make all this make sense. And the last thing is this. Just like the other day, I believe it was it was the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Cincinnati Reds. They had a suspended game. So they finished their suspended game the next day because of weather. And then they played another game that was still scheduled for that day, just with a little break in between. So in that instance, you are also guaranteed a 27th man, just like you were playing a doubleheader. But the catch is that 27th man cannot play in the suspended game. He can only play in the regular scheduled game for that day. Now, I hope I've not thrown too much at you. I wanted to do some kind of term-defining stuff because you're going to hear a lot of these terms right at the moment, especially as we get closer and closer to the trade deadline. So I wanted to do that with you, and I wanted to say this. We will continue this discussion, circle the wagons, or circle the pillows, however you want to look at it, tomorrow when we look at 40-man rosters and what it means to be DFA. But until then, remember, winning is not the only thing, but wanting to win is. Thank you all very much. Appreciate your time.